You're insane!
Hello, and welcome to the Madhouse, episode 102. I'm UltimateSpy33, the host of this podcast, and joining me for this week's episode, I have...
There are more episodes than Dalmatians! Lucas, it's a miracle.
Hallelujah.
Steve Kovoc, Stephen, also known as Steve Kovoc. I exist.
Of course you do.
Quite simply, I exist.
And obviously I'm here.
Hi, bigdinoguy here. I am back, and yes, nerdy as ever.
So yeah, this week I wanted to talk about future anthology movie because Solo just came out and it was pretty good. But it's one of the things where it's like they make an anthology movie that no one wants, or maybe make one that everyone wants. And going from this movie to other ones they can make, because I've seen the articles for future anthology movies because between episodes we're getting anthology movies, and some of them, like the one they just announced, Boba Fett, it could be a good movie. What the really interesting thing about that though is that when I was reading an article about the anthology movies on the Star Wars Wikipedia page, it said that Tamara Morrison, who played Jango Fett in the prequels, and then the actor who played Boba Fett, they both said they'd be open to reprise of roles as the characters in some form or another, which is good. So that's really good. What do you guys think of that potential idea? Because I think it was a fan art of Boba Fett solo Star Wars story, and it had the current Jango Fett actor. It's like, he's old now. That can't work.
Okay. Who is playing Jango Fett? Who is playing him?
Well, the hope is the actor who played the young Boba Fett in Episode 2. That's the hope. And or Jango Fett's actor. That could also, Tim Morrison or whoever. I can't remember the actor's name who played young Boba Fett, but he's open. They're both open to play the characters again if Boba Fett asks them to. So that'd be really, really interesting.
My only requirement for a Boba Fett actor, or no, a Jango Fett, or no.
Boba.
For a Boba Fett. My only requirement for a Boba Fett
child
is that he has to look like the clones from the Clone Wars. Because think about it. If you remember, the clones were clones of Jango Fett, which is his dad. Mm-hmm. And Boba was a clone of him.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna have a Jango Fett, or a Boba Fett, I'm so sorry, we need to have them look like the clones. Problem is though is that the clones are all CG.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But they are all still played by the same actor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think, who is it? Daniel? There's a Daniel.
Daniel, not Daniel Craig. Daniel, the guy who, I know you're talking about the guy who played young Boba Fett in Episode 2. He opened to replace his role, but I think he played the character in the Clone Wars, I'm pretty sure. Did he? I can't remember. One of the two.
I don't know. But either way, he would be the ideal Boba Fett.
Yeah.
If we're doing an adult Boba Fett, because he has to look like the clones.
Yeah,
because that's the only way this is gonna make sense.
I agree with that. I'm a huge Boba Fett fan. He is my top two favorite Star Wars characters of all time are Darth Maul and Boba.
Well, obviously.
Hands down.
Darth Maul, I can see that.
I love the three characters, and they are my favorite. I love most Star Wars characters, far from all. Fuck you, Jar Jar. But,
oh, come on.
I'm a big Star Wars fan.
I love Jar Jar.
And my thing is, I don't want to just see the same guy playing Jango and Boba. I mean, if you saw the behind-the-scenes photo, the original guy that played Boba was just some white Hulk. Looks like
Daniel Logan.
Stuff going on.
99?
Daniel
It looks like
Logan.
99 did me.
I remember now. That's the actor's name. Daniel Logan. He played young Boba Fett.
But I actually wouldn't mind seeing the younger actor return. I actually enjoyed seeing him as that character. I don't want to see the guy who played Jango return. He had his run. It was a fun run, but So, with that being said, though, because, yes, obviously he is a clone, but I prefer if they just didn't remove the helmet. Or if they did, then they can have someone look very similar to him, and then just have, scarring or whatnot. Because as far as I remember, we've never actually seen Boba's face.
It would make sense, too, if he had his helmet on the whole time, because if you'll remember, he had his helmet on pretty much the entirety of the original trilogy.
No, the entirety. not pretty much the entirety of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Like,
literally, every scene he was on, his helmet was on, and he's like,
you know the reason why he did that, right? Because he was originally intended to be some super stormtrooper.
Yeah.
By Lucas. George Lucas at first he was like, oh, this would be some super stormtrooper dude that loved to hunt down Jedi, and that's what he was originally envisioned as. But the character really took off, and people were like, hey, this is actually pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And he gained a following, and that's why he is the way he is now. But originally, yeah, he was just supposed to have been some super advanced stormtrooper. That was all.
Basically, he was supposed to be the Phasma of the OT.
Yeah. Well, Phasma was supposed to be the Jango or the Boba of the new stuff. Yeah. But didn't really work out that way. So.
Yeah. Spoiler for those who haven't seen episode 8.
As much as I love Phasma, she didn't really give the Boba Fett feel. It just, no.
She was a very special character. It was a very special version of the Stormtrooper. It was a very interesting character.
Silver armor, though. How badass is that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you actually know what it's made out of, right? And why it kept the same blaster bolt? It's the same material that Padme Amidala's ship was made out of.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
What?
It's, actually, I think it's made from pieces of her ship.
Oh, that's cool. How do you know that?
One of the things that I do as a massive nerd is I look at a bunch of the background information, and I watch a shitload of videos just on my spare time when I'm doing other stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the shitload of things that I heard.
Oh, that's cool.
So I might be misinformed, and I might be getting confused with something else with it. But it has something to do with either the same kind of metal or the same metal that was used in her ship.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
Dang. Palpatine did not get the last laugh by any means with Padme, did he?
With what?
Padme. I remember reading this thing on Tumblr. It was this post. All right. It was about how Padme was quite literally the bane of Palpatine's existence.
Oh my goodness.
Hear me out. So let me see if I can find the post right here on my computer. But basically, it was saying that even after Padme's death, she still continued to torment Palpatine, basically. So
what? Continued torment Palpatine?
She basically continued to like troll Palpatine, basically.
Wow.
By having I need to find that post. But it's just freaking amazing how Padme managed to thwart Palpatine at pretty much every turn, and even after she died.
Because of her legacy, right?
Go on, I'm gonna try.
Okay, I wanted to say
you could say she had a very happy landing.
Come on, dude. Really? Okay. Well, anyway, I wanted to real quick ask people: Do you think that it's a good idea for them to announce the next Solo movie or the Star Wars movie as next Star Wars movie as Boba Fett? Because I feel like he was popular in the '80s, but he's not like the most important character. I'm curious, like, why fans want him so much. I mean, I think he's a cool character. He's badass, but why specifically him?
Like I said, originally Boba Fett, he was supposed to have been just some super stormtrooper. That's what he was intended to be. That's what they were originally writing him as. But then at the last minute, they're like, okay, let's maybe make him into a bounty hunter and do all this.
Yeah.
But actually, if you watch Star Wars Rebels, that's why they changed the sorry, I'm trying to think and do things at the same time.
Yeah.
But if you watch Star Wars Rebels, that was originally the Mandalorian armor that's used in the show, the characters. Mandalorian, he was a jackass and whatnot in Rebels again. He was a jackass and went up against Clan Ren.
Well, I haven't seen it because I'm trying to get through Drift Bane, but unfortunately I can't right now because the library, the dick. Yeah, but I don't know. I haven't seen Rebels yet.
But basically, that's what it was originally intended as. That was based off of a drawing of the original Mandalorian armor, which was the armor that Boba Fett was supposed to have originally had. That's why it's all white when you watch the show. Just saying.
Interesting. He isn't my favorite character by means at all. I think he's a very cool character, but I don't think he's like the best character of all. I'd say he's probably my least favorite character, but I still think he's subtly important, somewhat.
He's fun, but he's not bigger.
He's been both trilogies, so he's obviously the actor who played him, but both dubbed him and played him, was in both trilogies. So I think he's a cool character, but I'm still curious why fans want him so bad. Like, why do they want a Boba Fett movie like to be the next one?
He didn't really have a whole lot of stuff to do in the normal run of Star Wars and within canon.
Right.
However, in the expanded universe, he did. He had a huge story going on, including kids and and a lot of expanded universe.
We want to see that. We want to see Boba Fett.
I mean, I know people want him because of the jetpack,
but
that can't be the whole thing. That can't be the whole reason.
Dude, it's Boba.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Other stuff you're looking there further.
I don't think the whole reason why they want a movie because he's a only guy with a jetpack. That can be true, but like, I think the important thing to think about when this, because that's the next one they're making, is that the actors. I was looking at the page about them, is that they'd be open to reprise the roles. Something that I'm really intrigued by because the actors who played them. I don't know what you guys say about. I don't care what you guys say about the prequel trilogy. I absolutely adored that trilogy. It doesn't matter what the acting was, any of it. I loved it because I grew up on that. So when I saw the actor play Django in that movie, I thought he was a great actor. He did a really good job with it.
I like the Django actor. Don't get me wrong. I did not hate him at all. I think that he was just. He's had his run. He's done the character duty. He is not the Boba Fett. He did a good Jango Fett. He did a good clone. But I think that he needs to kind of step down and allow us to have something new to the character. Mm-hmm. Someone that isn't just his exact same duplicate face.
Yeah.
Because, yes, that's fun. But also the actor is older, which might work for the character.
Yeah, it might be weird.
Work, even if he did it, but I don't think it is the most practical way.
I think it's more appropriate if they cast the Daniel Lewin character because he was also approached about it, asked if he would be able to return, and he said he'd love to do it, just like McGregor for Obi-Wan.
But the only thing is, he hasn't acted since he did that movie.
Yeah, exactly. But he still said he'll be open for it, so that's really, really good news. So
yeah.
I feel like it's really better if they announce movies and then the actors who played those characters previously, they are saying they want to come back. That's really good news because it's been like 10 years.
But you gotta remember that.
15 years, I don't know.
Hollywood is a business. Yes, it makes a lot of cool things, but it's still, at the end of the day, meant to be a business. We are consumers. That's all that we are to them. We're just their paycheck. That's all that we as nerds or consumers, people that go to the movies, that buy the video games. I'm playing Halo Reach right now. I'm just a consumer of playing on the console and all that stuff. Yeah. They don't really care, for the most part. The only unfortunately, like I just said, a lot of people just don't really care. It's unfortunate, but that's just the way that it is, and because it is the industry.
Yeah, definitely. So real quick, go around the room for one last time. I didn't really hear from Stephen and Lucas. What do you guys think of this announced Boba Fett movie? Do you want it? Do you not want it? Do you think it's a good idea?
I don't know. We didn't really get a whole lot of info from that. He barely talked at all in the original trilogy.
Well, he was dubbed over by the actor who played him. But do you want them? Are you happy they announced it? Do you think it's gonna be a good idea?
We'll see.
Yeah, of course.
I'm interested.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting. If I ever see it at some point,
Of course, at some point. I like how you said at some point.
Some point in the next, 70, 80 years, my life.
One day, I'll see it.
One day!
Yeah, but
long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Do you think that what do you? Because I already got information from the bigdinoguy and Kaylee, but why do you guys think that they are making a Boba Fett movie, like as the next one?
Because people like Boba Fett. There's a lot of people who really like Boba Fett, and they're like, "Oh, we can make money."
Yeah. Oh, the money.
That's okay. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I think that's really all I can say about the Boba Fett movie. I'm not super excited for it. I think I think it's interesting. I guess everyone else here is saying I think it's interesting. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with it, but it isn't my favorite thing to hear. I don't really want one, but at the same time, I think it's still. I think it could have potential. I think it could be interesting. I'd see it because it's Star Wars, and even if it's a character that I'm not really
I gotta say something,
a big fan of.
This is not spoiler thing at all for Solo. However, it does pertain to it. When I first went into the movie, I expected it to be trash.
Yeah.
I did not expect to enjoy it.
People were saying it was like a
I thought they would be another Rogue One. Rogue One, yes, it had a couple of cool scenes, but aside from that, it was a really crap movie. I hated it.
Was not bad.
I like it.
Yeah, but
I finally saw it. It was actually really good. Yeah, I finally saw it.
Better, if I would rather watch the first movie, if I would rather watch Phantom Menace than that one, they're not really doing all that good either.
Yeah.
I would rather watch.
No, this was way better than Phantom Menace.
It was not that bad.
What I'm saying
is it's not that bad.
What I'm saying is Solo, yes, it does have problems. That is what Solo does. It is far from the best movie ever made, but it's a lot of fun to see. I enjoy watching Solo. I thought that it expanded a lot to the universe, and it had one scene in particular that to spoil it for Kaylee would be like you pretty much not want to even watch the entire movie. I mean, it's just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I
will say this about that spoiler.
My friend David, he is also a big fan of Star Wars, and he knows how much I love this character, and watched it, and was like, oh my god.
Yeah, totally. But I'd say that, without spoiling that spoiler, I will say that I had looked up this thing that was in the movie before watching the movie, and it didn't really. Oh, I guess it kind of spoiled for me, but I think I was like, all I can say about the spoiler, that spoiler was, ooh, like, ooh, I wonder.
Well, that's also because you haven't.
I think it was the idea of the thing.
Watched Clone Wars yet.
I think it was the thing that was in the movie that I was surprised by. I was wondering how they were going to pull it off, and when they did it, I was surprised. So I'm not going to say what it is, but I will say it was. It was very cool.
Enough,
it was very
so
cool.
We don't spoil the movie for.
Yeah, I won't say anything. I'll just say it was a very moment. It was really cool. But yeah. Anyway, enough of that. What other anthology movies do you think they should make, if they should make any? Obviously, the Obi-Wan movie is the next person on the list, but aside from that one, which is the big one, what other movies do you think they should make? There have been talks of Yoda movie, Darth Maul movie, Darth Vader movie. That's ridiculous.
Qui-Gon. They need a Qui-Gon movie.
Why?
Why? Because I want to fly and Dooku and how they not only how Dooku fell to the dark side, but Qui-Gon's other Padawan, Xanatos. Because if you'll remember,
that'd be awesome.
Obi-Wan is not the only Padawan that Qui had. Qui had Xanatos.
You're calling him Qui now? It's not Qui, it's Qui-Gon. 2 words. But yeah, because I did hear that for the Obi-Wan movie, I heard that, well, obviously, Ewan McGregor says he'd come back, but also, Ewan McGregor said he'd be happy to come back if they asked him because of, Force Ghosts and stuff like that. And then,
that'd be awesome to have him.
Ian McDiarmid said he'd also be willing to come back for a movie as his character in some form or another. But I don't know, Qui-Gon movie, it wouldn't be impossible. I think there's definitely a story that could tell. I think a story that'd be very, very interesting is a Tyrannus movie, aka Count Dooku.
Ooh.
Because besides episode 2, we never ever really learned about Tyrannus' character, aka
Bring
Count
some
Dooku.
legends into it.
Because his Sith name is actually Darth Tyrannus, even though his name is Count Dooku, his actual Sith name is Tyrannus, and that's something we haven't really got a whole lot of, really, in terms of Star Wars. We've gotten enough of him in Clone Wars and Episode 2 and 3, but we haven't really gotten much of him besides that. So I think it'd be very interesting. People will talk about a Yoda movie. I don't know, it'd be a little weird. It'd be a little odd to have a Yoda movie. Do we need one? Do we really?
I hope to God they don't go with Yoda.
You don't get that line.
But you need to have him in mystery. You need to have
Yeah.
a mysterious character, and that is what Yoda has always been. That's what it was always intended for. Don't make the fucking Yoda movie.
Yeah.
I really wish that we could see at least some of Yoda's past, though, because you don't get that wise without a long history of failure.
Exactly.
And let's be real, this guy's lived for like 100 years.
Yes, he has. That's true.
He probably failed a lot. I'd like to see some
I know,
of those.
right?
Yeah,
I
that would
want
be cool.
to see. I want to get at least some idea of what he went through, because, oh my god, that would be like a trilogy in and of itself, practically.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting.
That
Yeah.
could be showing him as the Jedi Grand Master. We could even show up. We can even show how he got to the temple in the first place.
Yeah, it'd be really cool.
Imagine how awesome that would
Little baby Yoda man.
As long as
that would be really cute too.
There's also talked about a Darth Maul movie that people want for some reason, and a Darth Vader movie. Darth Vader, we already got one. Episodes 1 through 6. There you go.
We don't really need a Darth Vader movie.
We already have one. It was 6 episodes.
If we were to do that, I would want to see baby Anakin. Like, not just young Anakin, but baby Anakin.
We don't need another Darth movie, but we already got 6 of them.
Like,
No, we have enough Anakin. No
Yeah,
Anakin.
I didn't think so.
Bad
no,
Anakin. Go away.
Anakin.
Yeah, no, we got
No
enough.
more sand. I don't want sand. I don't want
everywhere.
sand. About sand more.
Of course, but not. But yeah, Darth Maul would be really interesting. Darth Tyrannus. A Sidious movie would be also really interesting. That would be so that'd be really Sidious Star Wars story. That could be cool.
That actually would be fun.
yeah,
That would be really
I
interesting.
could see it.
Especially if
Star
Ian
Wars
McDermott doesn't come back. We could if he
Am I
was to
the
come
only
back
one?
for that movie, that'd be really good.
For what?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a
Like,
Sidious
Grandma-
movie. Like,
Grandma
how
Tarkin
he
might be
found
fun, too.
Plagueis.
Wait, a Grand Moff Tarkin movie? What? What? Are you serious? No! Come on, really? Why?
Sidious movie would
How about a
actually be
movie about Luke's aunt and uncle?
Bruin Owen, a Star Wars story. No!
I know.
No, who would watch that? Seriously. Bruin Owen, a Star Wars story.
The movie would be
Palpatine movie would actually be pretty cool.
Their movie would be about their day-to-day life on the
As
farm.
they get the real source of the blue milk.
Getting the blue milk. The blue milk is the most important part.
Wait, no.
The Force powers.
A Palpatine movie, I could see a Palpatine movie.
I'm only saying the Palpatine movie because Ian McDermott in that article I was reading, it said that he would also be interested in come back for his character, and if it was a solo movie about him, that would be really interesting.
It would be the first time we would see Plagueis on Darth
true.
Plagueis,
That'd be awesome.
the dude who used the midichlorians to create freaking life.
That would be really good. I think that would be really,
AKA,
really
he's
interesting.
fucking steady.
Yeah.
No, that's like I want to see Plagueis. I want to see this guy
Yeah.
because he is so important to the actual downfall of Anakin and the tragedy of what I'm about to Darth Plagueis.
The stupidest meme I've ever seen on
Have you
Facebook
heard
is
the tragedy of
have you heard the tragedy of Darth
that we don't
Plagueis
give
the
a shit.
Wise? It's like, come on, every meme is like that.
I love this meme. That
Hey,
meme
by the
will
way, Kaylee, it's
What?
9:30.
Yeah, it's almost 7:30. I gotta get going.
All right, well, I think we've covered that part of it, so we'll continue talking about
We're
I'll
just
see you next time. Okay, bye bye. Okay, so again, some of the movies you're suggesting, no, we're not gonna get a Bruin Owen movie. Come on.
Yes, I want that.
I want to see what happens with moisture evaporators.
C-3PO in R2-D2, a Star Wars story.
Dude, I would be down for a C-3PO movie, though.
Oh, come on. I'm just putting out names here at this point. Come on, no. That's where I get sand, a Star Wars story.
I am T3.
Come on.
I love that. Perfect.
So stupid. No.
God
Come on.
Suicide Gun.
But yeah, I don't know what other characters or Star Wars periods would you guys like to see for a potential Star Wars story movie?
I'd like to see an Old Republic Star Wars
That would be
movie.
really, really good. I think we haven't really those games we haven't done much.
So, the guy that actually that did both Clone Wars and Rebels.
Yeah.
The guy that directed it, I forget his name. He's actually going to be making a new Star Wars movie.
Yeah, we talked about that a couple
I've
weeks
never
ago.
seen live action,
Yeah.
but there are rumors that it might be taking place in an Old Republic.
Yeah, it'd be really, really cool.
Ooh.
That'd be
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
Old Republic. Yeah.
Oh, you know what they should do? There's a character I read about on my little journey here, I call it, called Nomi Sunrider, who was a Jedi Force user, and she was in the Extended Universe, but way before any of the movies or anything like that. And I think it'd be really interesting if they made a anthology movie based off of some characters from like the Old Republic era, like that. Like you said before, Old Republic. I think that'd be a really, really interesting idea to have some settings and character stories, solo films about those characters, because we've never gotten the movies or anything. So, what do you guys any character or setting things that you like the Star Wars universe to explore in a potential future anthology movie, as they're calling them? We've already thought
The
of
Blue Milk movie. The Blue Milk movie.
Blue Milk of Star Wars.
Yeah.
No. No.
Yeah. What about what's
No,
that thing? With milking? What's that thing called?
I don't know. It's a creature thing.
Movie about that thing.
Why? Literally just
Bad ideas.
and then we're gonna get a Jar Jar, a Star Wars story. Come on.
No. Riot.
Yeah.
Or
Grab the pitchfork.
Or droids, a Star Wars story.
I mean,
Depends on the kind of droid, I guess.
I guess that's true, yeah. But I don't know.
how
What do you-
about
What?
Space?
Space, a Star Wars
Star
story.
Wars story.
Why? No, that actually doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Or how about Sam? A Star Wars.
I already
story.
said that. You already said that.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
stupid.
hey, on to
How?
the rest of the podcast, though.
Yes.
We must speak about it.
Okay.
I'm
Are we done with
scared.
this topic? Have we covered the anthology films about future
Oh,
people we'd like to see, or are we done here?
I thought they were going to talk about Infinity War.
Well, I said we might be able to do it, but I'm concerned about like Steven, because he might be spoiled by it. So
I can always leave. Maybe.
you might have to leave because everyone else has seen it.
But I haven't seen it. I'm just aware of the twist.
Well, you've not seen it yet? I thought you saw it.
The twist is
No.
everyone dies at the end.
Yep, that's exactly what
More or
happened.
less,
Well,
yeah.
I've seen the spoilers. Don't worry about it.
Why you do that to yourself? That's the worst way to do it.
I came across it accidentally.
That's why you look away from the internet, because it spoils it for you. That's why I found out about the Amazing Spider-Man 2 ending before I even watched it. It sucked. But yeah, I don't know. Are we done with this topic? The anthology films? Anything else? Any other ideas about what they should make or what?
Okay, final thoughts on that. I think that they could do a good job with Boba Fett, but that's just me. It's not for everyone. But if I honestly really enjoyed Solo, it was not the best movie ever made.
Yeah.
It is not but it is. I thoroughly enjoyed it, including the twist at the end and the things that happened with. My favorite scene in the movie was probably finally seeing Han just shoot Beckett first.
Yeah, that was.
It's like,
that was
yes, this is the Han Solo. Yes, a lot of things that people are saying about it that's bad was the fact that it just didn't really have much of a need, like how he got his last name. But at the same time, we're going to see our favorite characters and their stories.
Yeah.
We don't need to expand on so much information. Yes, we want to see these fun things that they might mention. Oh, allusions to this, allusions to that. Darth Maul's cameo in it. That was just fantastic to see.
Right, yeah.
Like I said beforehand, I'll gladly say it many more times. It was just awesome to see one of my most beloved characters in this movie. I did not expect spoilers. And I was so glad. I think that with anything that they go with, whether it's Boba Fett, Star Wars, I think that they can very easily put in a lot of twists and nods, but they gotta think it through first.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I love that they are continuing to do is they're keeping everything interwoven within one another. And whether it's taking place 20 years before or after, it's still very interwoven and making connections to things that we might not have thought of before.
Yeah, I think it was really, really cool. I'm pretty sure everyone else except Steven has seen the movie, but the Kessel Run, that was really, really cool. That was like amazing.
Oh, they got the Kessel Run in it? That's cool.
Yeah, they did have that. It was a really important thing. All the stuff that was teased in episode 4 was talked about. It's basically all explained and given answers to in this movie, basically. Essentially, like all the stuff that Han talks about in about the Falcon and his adventures, all that stuff in episode 4, it's all answered in this movie, which is really, really good. It's a really important part about Star Wars. That was like, what is the Quran? You know, how did he win it? The Falcon, all that stuff.
Oh, when Kaylee was talking about like the parsec thing, I'm like,
all that stuff, all that, like how it became Chewbacca, everything was answered. That was something I really enjoyed. So that's something. Yeah, I was really overjoyed by that. But yeah, I don't know. What are you guys planning on seeing Solo? Lucas, are you planning?
I don't know.
Okay, well,
when it comes out,
I don't want to spoil it for you, but that's just the word thing that answered.
I don't have any strong desire to go see it. Is the thing.
Yeah, I never desired. My buddy Dave and we had seen Deadpool 2 before. Both
good movie too.
We saw that the night before. No, we saw that 2 nights before. Then I had already seen Infinity War once, but then he's like, "Ooh, can we actually see that?" I'm like, "Okay." So we went and saw that, and then we saw Solo the last night that he was here.
Nice.
And we enjoyed all 3 of these things. I mean, it was just a movie weekend. But, yeah, it was fun. I miss my brother. But, yeah, it's surprisingly a damn good movie for Solo.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, definitely.
I was impressed with this. I was expecting this movie to be shit. Because of all the different things that are going on behind the scenes with it, and even some of the actors dissed the movie itself, going around that Disney actually basically said that they expected to fail.
Wow.
There was a leak from when they're in like some meeting, and they're like, "Yep, it's gonna fail."
Yeah, they thought it was like a bomb or something like that, but it's gonna suck. You know, a podcast about like, oh, is this movie gonna suck? It really does suck. Does it? Like, who knows?
No. I enjoyed it through and through. Like I said, it was no masterpiece, but it sure as hell ain't shit.
Of course not. It answered a lot of really, really important questions for that character and all that stuff that was in episode 4 that we never really got answers to. So that's why, you know, the whole talking about anthology movies, it's gonna be really important when they keep making more, because there are still a lot of questions in the Star Wars universe from what we've already seen that need to be answered that we haven't gotten answers to. So that's something I really want to. That's why I decided to, you know, this week we should do anthology movie talk, because I really think it's important, because there's a lot they can still tell of story left. So, anyway, are we done with that for now, or?
Probably.
For now.
Okay. All right. So, on to Infinity War. If everyone else is cool with talking about that.
Yes.
Okay. Can we talk about that? Because I want to talk about that.
I'm so down for talking about that.
Yeah, because I've been seeing a lot of videos, especially with in correlation with Ant-Man and the Wasp and how it connects everything, and Captain Marvel. Oh, I've been watching a lot of Emergency Awesome, and I'm very.
I don't feel so good.
God, that was so sad. That scene was so sad.
Well, you know why they were able to drag his out, right?
He actually did improvise that. Tom Holland actually did.
Yeah.
When he did that, he improvised it.
He improvised that line, and you know how his character was actually able to do that?
Yeah. I think he.
Well, do you know? Seriously, do you know why they're
my theory? The theory is that his spider sense sensed his death coming. He knew he was gonna die.
Yep, it was the first time that it had actually developed. Yeah. Because remember the first one, he didn't really have it.
Well, in Civil War he had it, but it was only a little bit. So, but
no, yeah. he did. What scene? Because I don't remember
Civil
him
War.
having it.
You remember when he first in Civil War when he's like when his eyes raise and he sees like the thing coming, he's like, oh god, and he knows it's coming. He ducks out of the way. That's the Spider-Man right there. And then obviously, Infinity War,
But it's like really developed because have you guys seen that really old movie Aliens? I laughed my ass off.
I haven't seen Aliens because I'm afraid of it. But yeah. I understood the reference because I am aware of the franchise, so I knew what he was talking about. So I think
I thought it was Steve Rogers when they said that, and I was like, I understood that reference.
I am Steve Rogers. I am Groot. I am Steve Rogers. It was fantastic. There's a lot of really funny lines in the movie. Like I think when Drax says "I'm invisible," that was improvised. One of the funniest lines of the entire movie. It's like I'm standing so still that I'm invisible.
Very low.
It's right in the middle of Star-Lord and Gamora having intimate conversation.
Mm-hmm. They're about to make out.
And then of course, I think that when I saw the scene where Spider-Man turned to ash, I'm like, oh no, I couldn't cry. My brain was, like I said before, I couldn't cry. I felt so terrible, and it's all the interesting thing about this Phase 3 is that with because they're filming Captain Marvel and they're doing promos and stuff for Ant-Man and the Wasp, and that movie takes place after Civil War. So I think Phase 3 is the most messed up timeline of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe because it's just insanely crazy. So.
But my theory is that everyone who died at the end, like everyone who turned to ash, is not dead.
Well,
they wouldn't kill off Black Panther.
Because Spider-Man 2, or whatever they're going to call it, is filming this month or something. I think it's filming later this month, so it'll be released next year on the July. I don't know when it is, but they're doing that because they always have like a summer movie, a main movie or whatever for the Marvel films. So they're doing that, but it'll take place. Spider-Man 2 will take place minutes after Avengers 4, whatever Avengers 4 end up being called. And right now they're filming Captain Marvel, and they're also having Jude Law as Marvel, and you may know him from playing the character of Watson in Sherlock Holmes. It's almost like a reunion between all four actors who played Sherlock and Watson. You have RDJ, you have Benedict Cumberbatch, you have Martin Freeman, and you have Jude Law. So it's like really, if you think about all four actors have been in Marvel movies. That's really cool.
Huh.
And of course, the fact that it's really cool that we have two Sherlock actors side by side having conversations. That's awesome. That's basically what I've known about it. Guardians 3 is going to be filming in January, so it's going to be very soon. So the fate of Star-Lord is currently unknown. That's why we're not going to be putting any promos for Spider-Man 2 when they have filming done, because they don't want to spoil Avengers 4. That's probably why. That's just what I've known about it.
Well, actually, so one of the things that Jovenshire, I follow his stuff, and I'm a big fan of Smosh.
Yeah.
And Jovenshire, he's a cast member on Smosh Games, and he actually runs his own channel. And one of the things that he does on that is he discusses different nerd things that are going on. And he was mentioning how at the very end of Homecoming, he actually, Aunt May found out that, hey, he's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So, he was mentioning how they didn't address that at all in Civil War. Then he was like, oh, they didn't address it in Civil War. So most likely the next one might be taking place before the events of Infinity War.
What are you talking about, Spider-Man 2?
The next Spider-Man movie, yeah.
No. Spider-Man, whatever they're going to call the sequel, is going to be taking place minutes after Avengers 4. So whatever timeline you're reading, it's incorrect, because I have a very source tells me that Avengers 4, according to the Russo brothers, is going to be the Spider-Man sequel is taking place immediately, like for minutes after that movie. And apparently, I think the rumor is that they're talking in talks to have Jake Gyllenhaal playing Mysterio. That's the rumor. Is the villain.
That'd be fun.
And they're also possibly setting up for the Sinister Six because the Vulture is coming back apparently, and Michael Keaton is coming back for the sequel, and we're having Scorpion. So it's suddenly like they're going to start doing what they started with where Amazing Spider-Man was teaming up the idea of the Sinister Six, but failed because that movie didn't end up really with somewhat terrible. It was actually pretty awful in the end. It was somewhat decent, but it was not great. So I think they're kind of rebooting the idea of having Sinister Six. So they're like building upon that with the Spider-Man character and having Sinister Six build upon for the sequel, whatever that's going to be called. It's not going to be called Spider-Man Homecoming 2, probably coming completely different. I don't know what they're going to call it, but yeah, I mean, I think it's really interesting because I know a lot about what's happening with the Marvel movies and stuff like that because I follow Emergency Austin, he's a very professional YouTuber. Like, he's got like 2 million subscribers, so he knows what he's doing. He does research and scripting, and he knows his stuff. But yeah, I think it's really interesting because there's a lot of Marvel stuff coming out. Dark Phoenix, nah. It's kind of thing with this whole Fox deal comes through. I don't even think Dark Phoenix is worth watching because they have this logo, it looks awful, and in general, it's just like
you don't think what's worth watching?
They delayed the X-Men movie so much that people were wondering if they should even see it because it's just like pointless. Because they've delayed New Mutants until next August. They've delayed Dark Phoenix until February next year. So it's kind of like I'm kind of losing hope. Like, just reboot it already, kind of thing. That's the thing. It's like just reboot it with the MCU because Marvel Studios is doing so well. Why don't they just can it and just give them the X-Men and Fantastic Four? Because that's so totally gonna happen. But yeah, I don't know. That's just what I'm told. But I don't know. What else do you guys want to talk about for Infinity War that we have not talked about already?
I don't know.
You were super excited about talking about it, so let's talk about it. You're literally like jumping on your feet, like talk about it.
Yeah,
all I have to say.
My favorite scene was, well, I don't really have a favorite scene. It was just a fantastic movie. I was impressed with it, and the amount of shit that happened, and I was just like, oh my god, all the way through. And the second time I saw it, because I already knew that all the deaths were coming, I was like, okay, this is gonna happen. But my buddy David, he was shocked mostly with Gamora dying.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like,
Dane, who had seen the movie before the rest of us, has a T-shirt that says "Spoiler alert: Everyone dies." He watched the movie when we watched.
Real quick, I wanted to talk about something that happened during the movie that was surprising me because I didn't even know this. I said a comment about it. I'm like, that can't be true. Turned out it was actually true. Red Skull, he returns.
Yeah, what
played by a completely different actor because Hugo Weaving did not return. They literally can put someone else in prosthetics and make it look like it's the same character. So he did not return. It was Red Skull.
Yeah,
it looks like he was
leaving. He didn't return for it. It was the same guy.
He didn't return it for it, but
have you seen Once Upon a Time?
I have.
Nope.
I'm behind. I'm like the 7th season. I'm very behind. But
you remember the guy that played Dr. Jekyll and Hyde?
Sam Witwer.
That might be his name. I don't know for certain. But anyway, the actor that did that, that's him.
I don't think so. You have to look it up. I'm pretty sure it's not the same actor. I don't know, but point is that the story goes that Red Skull at the end of First Avenger, he was not killed off. He was simply teleported to the Soul World, and so he's trapped there. That's why he looks a little bit older. Basically,
you have seen the movie, you said, right?
Wait, you're talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen First Avenger and this one. Yeah, I'm very well aware.
No, have you seen Infinity War?
Yeah, like twice.
Yeah, then you know that you are correct in that assumption.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Exactly.
I mean, he explains it.
Exactly.
So,
he's in that soul world. That's specifically how it is.
That's what he said. He, after trying to harness the Tesseract and that really not going all that well for him, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. And the working theory, this could actually be possible, is that for Avengers 4, with the whole idea of how they defeat Thanos, I mean, this might not even happen, but the idea is that Iron Man has a new suit, not the Mark 49, Mark 49.
Not the bleeding edge.
But he'll have a new suit that will be capable of wielding a new gauntlet, potentially the one that we saw in the Dwarven Chamber when Thor was making his new hammer, which could be activated somehow. So we might see, him wielding the gauntlet and then stopping Thanos with the help of Captain Marvel. And there's actually a scene that I've been told where all the superheroes from all the movies are like standing in a line, including Hank Pym and Michelle Pfeiffer's character, all lining up, ready for battle. I don't know what's happening, but and also apparently Wasp isn't in the movie for very much. Apparently the actress Evangeline, she was only on set for 1 day, so she's not going to be in the movie for a whole lot. Well, she'll be in the movie, just not probably like a, I don't know. I don't know how long a day is for a film, but not a whole lot of time. Maybe 15 minutes. It depends
on how much they do, but yeah, it's not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot of time. Maybe 15 minutes, maybe, but I don't know. Hopefully she'll have something to do, but yeah, not a whole lot. Yeah, that's basically so there's a lot of theories about what's happening. I know they announced an Eternals movie. They're doing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
They announced a new what movie?
They're doing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
But what did you say before
Eternals.
that?
They announced an Eternals movie.
Oh, it's the Eternals.
Yeah, they announced. I've heard of it just until now, but I don't even know anything about them. So, they're all new to me. I've heard them based on videos, but I don't even know what they are. They're characters I know, but no, just completely new characters. If I was to be in the same boat as Lucas, where we don't know anything about that, then we both we're in the boat that means join the boat where we don't know anything about this character that we just announced. Literally, I have no idea what the Eternals are. I'm not even kidding. I don't know.
I forget who they are exactly, but I know that they have something to do with the Titans and whatnot, like Thanos.
Yeah, there's a lot of new movies coming out. There's a lot of characters that they're hoping to make in movies. Like if the whole Disney Fox deal comes in, I mean, Comic is starting to look into buying Fox, but they're showing that it'll never happen. It'll be done by the summer of next year, or the end of the summer of next year. And then that I think Anthony or Joe, I can't remember the whose face belongs to which name, but one of the brothers said that if the Disney Fox deal goes through, that they'd like to do something like Secret Wars. I haven't read Secret Wars, but I'm aware of it. I know enough about it. So again, that became a really, really interesting idea.
I'm guessing that was Infinity War or Secret War that Spider-Man actually got his black suit in the comic.
I'm not sure. I don't know, but I will say that I think that it'll be really interesting to see where that goes, because there's already been some potential titles for Avengers 4. There's Avengers Reassemble, there's Avengers Endgame, there's Avengers I can't remember. There's several of them that have been leaked. Leaked means you know what leak means. It means it's not official. It means it could potentially be the title. So Endgame could potentially be it. Reassemble doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Or I think Dissemble is what they said. Not Reassemble, Dissembled. But also Endgame could potentially be a title for it. I don't know. That kind of makes sense. Again, it is not officially confirmed, but it's just an idea. That's what they've said, that it might be called Endgame, but there are many titles that they have said it could be, but they won't. I think they're waiting until the dust is settled before they're gonna reveal the title. Like they're wanting everyone to cool down before they say what the next title is. I think it's basically because Infinity War's still playing. They want to wait to reveal the title of the next one so that people cannot freak out. Like, oh, we've already had our hearts broken by this movie. So what can you do to us, kind of thing.
That's what essentially the reason why it was originally supposed to have been just the Infinity War. Parts 1 and 2.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what the original titles were. Plain cut simple. However, the director was like, you know what? This is going to be a major spoiler. Let's change it up a little.
Exactly.
So they changed it up a little.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. That's really interesting thing. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I should ask people what they think of it because they haven't seen it, but in general, for those of you who've seen it, what do you think of it, and what do you think of the future for the Marvel Cinematic Universe if they integrate the X-Men characters and Fantastic Four, stuff like that? I'm really interested because I'm a big Marvel fan, big nerd in general.
I want to see X-Men versus the Avengers.
I hope that'll go through. If the Disney Fox goes through, because X-Men Dark Phoenix, I will see it, but I'm just kind of losing hope on it because the logo they unveiled looks awful. They dropped the X-Men logo. They just called it Dark Phoenix with an X in where the X is, with like a circle and an X. It's like basically the most boring title ever for a movie poster. It looks so stupid, and they're delaying it, and they have reshoots to do, so they're making it even worse in terms of like production and everything. And then New Mutants is being delayed until next August because they want to make it more scarier. So basically, everyone that thinks that the X-Men universe is screwed, except maybe Deadpool, because they can't make good movies, like at all. But I don't know. I've of all the movies that they made for the X-Men movies, I've enjoyed all of them, even the ones that quote sucked. I enjoyed every single one of them. Even Apocalypse, I enjoyed thoroughly all of them. But the question is like, what does Infinity War and the rest of the movies mean for this other characters and stuff like that? Because I think there's even for Deadpool 2, there was even a idea of putting the Chris Evans version of the Human Torch in the movie, but it never came to fruition. For you remember Fantastic Four, they had the Human Torch played by Chris Evans. They were ideas of putting that version of the character in Deadpool 2, but it never happened. So, anyway, that's really all I can say about Infinity War because you want to talk about it. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Because we went to Infinity War, but I don't know what else to talk about. So
all the deaths that happened. Oh my god. What was the one death that shocked you guys the most?
Probably Spider-Man. That was the one that got me the most. It was like, oh god, no. I didn't cry, surprisingly. I was like, oh no. I will say that when Star-Lord died, that was actually, if you remember, you might not have seen this, but back in July of last year, someone was able to record it on their phone. I told you about this before. It was really shitty quality, but it was easy. You could watch it, but it was basically when Star-Lord saying no. We don't know what he was saying. It turns out that was actually because he was saying no right when he died. Like he was saying, oh, he's like, oh no. I think it was, oh god, yeah, oh god, and then he just dies. He just vanishes. Mm-hmm. And that was like part of the late Comic-Con trailer, and it was finally like, where is that in the movie? Oh, that's when he's about to die. There you go. So, yeah, that was basically, I think shocking was Spider-Man's death, and also I think that even more like, oh my god, WTF kind of thing was when they're all, facing against Thanos all at once, and you have, Mantis doing her thing, Spider-Man webbing him up, everyone just attacking him. Also, I will say the most like weird use of powers ever is our Strange thing where he's surrounding Thanos with his double team thing. You remember that scene?
Oh yeah, well, that was a lot of the different moves that were used in that movie by the characters.
Yeah.
Were actually from the comics. That was one of them.
That was super cool and also super. I'm like, whoa! Is he gonna have it overhand like at Thanos? Turns out no. So that was something really really cool. Yeah, I gotta say that was just like it was. Honestly, I think it'll go down in terms of this movie. I think Avengers 4 will be even bigger, but for right now, Avengers 3, Infinity War, it right now has a level of best movie ever made. At least for now. I don't know if Jurassic World 2 and Avengers 4 will take that place, but for now, that's what I can say. And I'm actually going to be seeing Incredibles 2 double feature, hopefully soon. I'm going to be getting a double feature thing. So they're doing a double feature for Incredibles 2, so you can see Incredibles 1, the first time in IMAX, along with a early screening of Incredibles 2. So that's really really cool. In terms of superhero news. So, yeah, that's really all I had to say. Do you guys have anything else to talk about? Because I'm done.
Actually, yeah.
Okay.
You know what I hated about that movie?
What was that?
The way that they did Star-Lord. I hated it.
I guess so. I think that I saw a post where it was
why I hated it.
Okay.
Because in every other scene that he has been, yes, he's always been a ragtag character. That's who he is. That's what they've always done in the movie.
Yeah.
However, he also is a ragtag character with a heart of gold. Every single time in all the other movies that there's been something bigger than him going on, he has always sacrificed his needs for everything else.
Yeah.
He sacrificed his father to take care of. He sacrificed becoming a god to kill his father in order to save the universe. Basically.
Yeah.
And they have a bunch of different things like that going on there. And the other ones. Sorry.
Yeah.
Totally.
But
what? All of a sudden, the one time, because in all the other times that Jack has come even close to killing someone that is an agent of Thanos, whether it was Gamora or what was the other guy's name? Well, basically, he's always turned him down from killing an agent of Thanos, saying, "No, this isn't the way. This isn't the way. This isn't the way." That's been one of his key elements as a character. All of a sudden, his love interest, his girlfriend, not even his wife.
Yep.
Jax had both his wife and daughter both slaughtered.
Yep.
Right in front of him, and yet Star-Lord was having
essentially
not do that. Then the one time that he actually has one person who's very close to him, granted, but still not even like officially family in that sort of a way, dies.
Yeah.
He gave that shit crazy.
Yeah, I remember seeing a post on Facebook where it was like, he's lost his mom, he's had to kill his dad, he just lost his girl, he just heard his girlfriend die. Of course he's gonna lose his shit.
Yeah, but then he
what really, I think, with that is he had his... earlier in the movie, when Gamora had said, promise to kill me if Thanos gets me, and he had really, actually done that, and then Thanos took that from him, and it was, use reality stone or whatever to make it, the bubble. And then went and killed her anyways. I think that's what the freak out was about.
Yeah, because they almost had they almost got Thanos. They were like, Spider-Man was getting the glove off, they were almost done, and then it's like, you killed Gamora? No!
But that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And all the other times that something else going on big for him, he has always known to hold it under control.
Yeah, of course.
And he has told Drax, keep it under control. Even with all the shit's going on for him, in order to save the universe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He knows that if Thanos gets the last stone, because he had all 5 at that point. No. Yes, he did. He had 5 of them at that point. If he got the last remaining stone, and poof, they all died. Everyone
I think when she was talking about it, he only had 2, I think, at that point. He had 2 stones. He had the one from Xandar and the one from the Tesseract. I think. Yeah.
Not during that fight scene. Not during the final fight scene.
When she's explaining what he's at, what his goal is, he only had only 2. But yeah, when they were fighting him, he had 4 or 5 of them at that point. So yeah, I think he had 4 because at that point it was before Dr. had decided to give the time stone to him. He only had 4 at that point. So that's when they were fighting him. But yeah, Steven, what do you, and not for Infinity War, but what do you think of the future of the MCU and according with possible X-Men crossover?
I mean, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
To see Wolverine, Wolverine. Imagine Wolverine working with the Avengers.
That would be pretty cool.
Cool.
What do you think about?
I know it'd be even cooler if maybe Captain America maybe met Logan at one point.
Yeah.
Well, technically they met, but they had no idea who each other were.
Yeah.
True, but
in the comics.
Yeah, but what do you think? What do you think about the future of the MCU? Because this is the culmination of everything. So
I think they're gonna start doing more crossovers and stuff like that, and going into some other shit. I want to say.
I think they're doing cosmic stuff. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They're gonna go into more cosmic stuff.
All right. Okay. Good answer. Okay. Well, that's really all I can say. Is there anything else you guys like to talk about, or are we done here?
No. I just hope that they do a good job with the remaining anthology films, and if they follow suit with Solo, then that's gonna be good. And I was thoroughly impressed with the Infinity War.
Oh yeah, definitely. Lucas, do you have anything else to talk about, or are we done?
Infinity War was cool. I liked it.
Good.
It was good. 7 out of 6.
Did you have tears?
Manly tears.
Oh, it's okay.
So am I, my friend. So am I.
Well, anyway, I think that's gonna do it for this episode. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Madhouse. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button. We all really appreciate the support. And if you're to this channel, subscribe for more episodes of this podcast and other series that I do. Also, make sure you subscribe to Bigdinoguy. Like, it'll also be in the description. Check out his channel. And we'll be back next time with another episode. Alright, bye-bye.
Bye.